share of troubles, and most of the blame is falling on the shoulders of quarterback Eric Hipple. In Philadelphia, the story is much the same. The Eagles have been a frustrated group all season long. Wins have been just beyond the Eagles' reach. So today, Randall Cunningham will start at quarterback and try to get the offense on track. We're in Philadelphia, where the Detroit Lions are coming for an NFC battle with the Eagles. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Bet Stadium. It is not sold out. That's unusual in Philadelphia, but the Eagles are 3-7 under Coach Buddy Ryan. So the Detroit Lions are also 3-7. But it's a beautiful day for football. The one thing we have to guarantee you is it's a beautiful, crisp November day, about 49 degrees, and of course, no chance of rain. We hope the game matches this beautiful day. Hi, I'm Tom Brookshier. With me, the former Super Bowl winning coach with the Kansas City Chiefs, the dapper one, Hank Stram. Hank, these days, if a team is 3-7, they're talking about next year already. We used to figure winning our last 6 games and going 9-7, but is this counterproductive sometimes to think like these two teams are?
I really think it is, Tommy. It's hard to understand why anybody would take any other action other than to do one thing, and that's to win the game. Of course, if I knew anything about coaching, I'd still be coaching, so you have to take that with a grain of salt.
Randall Cunningham will get his start, the first of this year, his 5th start overall. He's a second-year quarterback. A very fine runner, very fleet. He's been sacked a lot, too, so there's questions there. But on the other side, we didn't know, and I don't think Joe Ferguson knew until just a few minutes ago, that he was going to be tapped as the starter for Detroit.
You know, that was very unusual, Tommy, in that I was on the field before the game at 12:35, and the question seemed to be, who's going to start a quarterback? I asked Darryl Rogers, and he said, I haven't looked at him yet. And I think in the final analysis, they determined the starter by who completed the most passes in the pregame warm-up.
14-year veteran, of course, out of Buffalo, then with Detroit. And we are told that Eric Hipple's right elbow is bothering him. But really, it was a chance to replace, perhaps, Hipple, and give him a little bit of relief on the road, get himself back together. You're looking at Eddie Murray, one of the very fine kickers, the all-time scorer, by the way, in Detroit history. Deep men are Charlie Crawford to the top, number 45, and Keith Byers to the bottom, number 42, the #1 draft out of Ohio State. That's been really suffering with foot problems so far in his pro career, but today he gets the running back start too. As we said, a real good day, and sometimes two frustrated teams can make for a rather bitter engagement. Let's hope so. A short kick by Murray. This will be handled by Crawford at the 15-yard line, and he falls out of bounds, and that's going to bring a few boos to start with. Randall Cunningham has tried 59 passes and been sacked 29 times, but he can run. And here's the defense facing number 12, Keith Ferguson, Eric Williams, and William Gay.
I think Eric Williams is a key. I think you have to have a good nose man to play the 3-4.
Linebacking somewhat patched up. Kofor now playing the left side. Shelton Robinson, Jim Harrell have switched, and Vernon Maxwell is right outside linebacker now.
Mike Kofor is a great rusher, and he's a key.
Galloway, McNorton, Demetrius Johnson, and the rookie Devon Mitchell, a very fine young safety.
They really like Devon Mitchell. They think he's going to be super.
1st and 10 as Jackson goes in motion. Cunningham throwing the screen to Jackson, picks up 2 blockers, and gets out over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Maxwell makes the tackle. Randall Cunningham, his 5th start. He is a runner, and he is a thoroughbred. He is graceful. He's averaging 10.8 a rush. Haddix, Byers, Mike Quick, and Kenny Jackson, 2 very fine outside receivers. The line, it's makeshift. Reeves back at left tackle. Hayden, Darwin, Baker, and Joe Conwell in there for Leonard Mitchell. And Spagnola tied in.
Yeah, I think Ron Baker's the key. He's a consistent performer.
Pickup of 6, 2nd down and 4. The toss, back to the weak side goes Byers. Number 42 puts it down. Maybe gets a 1.5 yards, but not enough for a 1st down as James Harrell comes up quickly.
Michael Haddix that time got a good block on the linebacker or the defensive end, one of the two, number 26. But he got off the ball in good shape and made something happen at the point of attack.
What do you think of Byers? What is your initial reaction as a coach?
Well, I think he's a great going to be a great running back, but I think he has to carry the ball more than 9 times a game. I think the great runners perform a lot better if they run the ball a lot, maybe 20 to 25 times, maybe 30 times. But I think he's better in the fourth quarter than he is the first if he gets the ball a lot.
And he's only carried the ball 98 times the whole season. You're absolutely right. He's out of the lineup now. 3rd down and 1. Yard short. Cunningham waggling to the left and underthrowing a wide open receiver. He was rushed by number 77. Keith Ferguson put the rush on number 12, and he threw a bad pass.
I think he was surprised at that. It was a play action. It was kind of a bootleg effect with backs going one way and him going the other, and I think he was very surprised to see Ferguson in his face. Couldn't get the ball over the top, couldn't get set to throw the ball, and threw it into the turf.
Detroit just thinking about containment to keep number 12 inside all the time, huh?
Well, yeah, they're gonna put the fence up on the outside and make sure he plays up the middle.
John Telchik, a young man that was obtained from the Chicago Bears, and Pete Manley, a very good football player in my estimation. It doesn't get the chance to play as much as he should. A good long kick, returnable by Manley at the 30. Pete Manley almost gets to the corner, does get to the 39.5-yard line. And here comes Ferguson in. Joe, who needs 4 yards to become the 13th all-time NFL passer as far as yardage goes and go past Terry Bradshaw. Against him, Reggie White, Kenny Clark, Singletary, the rookie, and Greg Brown.
Reggie White's the key. He's a great pass rusher.
The backers, Gary Cobb, Reichenbach, Seth Joyner's in there. Alonzo Johnson still not healthy.
Mike Reichenbach is the key here. He calls the defenses.
Cornell Young and Cooper at the corners. Andre Waters and Hogue at the safeties. A pretty good, reliable defense if you can put the rush in.
Yeah, a lot of people think they might be the best in the league.
1st and 10 call for Ferguson. And we'll set that offense in just a moment up front. Ferguson going for a deep pattern up the sidelines on Cornell Young, and it's knocked away, intended for Carl Bland, number 80.
One thing we're going to do, we're going to see a lot of that today, because I think when you play the Eagles, you have to be able to throw the ball deep to win the game and to create a lot of problems for them. And there's going to be kind of a feast or famine. The Lions are going to look bad on some occasions, get sacked some, but they have to continue to throw the ball like they did in that very first play.
And Darrell Rogers wanted to throw it deep right away to stretch, make sure you're not playing against Erie Kipple, who's a better short passer, I would imagine. 2nd down and 10, incomplete pass. We'll set that offensive line for Detroit in just a moment. James moves over. Now they're back into a pro-type set behind him. Now Ferguson being chased, throws it on the run, and it's in and out of the hands of Carl Bland again, and the flag is down on the 22-yard line, and they're going to call Cornell Young for interference.
Here's an in-zone replay. This is a great thing about a guy like Ferguson. He knows what he has to do to win this game. He's throwing it up on top. Boy, that was close, Tommy, wasn't it?
Gee, it really
he evidently got the right arm in his face, and that's probably why they call pass interference. But it was close.
I thought Cornell was looking up at the ball, but all defensive backs, or old defensive backs, think that. A 36-yard penalty. Detroit's been plagued by penalties this season themselves. That was a good one to get. 1st and 10 for the Lions. Ferguson is not going to be afraid to throw it.
No, he isn't, and he's got to throw it if he gets one-on-one coverage.
James Jones, 230-pounder, the former number 1 draft back in '83, straight ahead for a couple of yards. Here's that off. Jones, Carl Bland, and Jeff Chadwick on the outside.
Well, obviously, Ferguson and Jones are the keys because they have to make something happen.
Lomas Brown, Salem, Steve Mott, Dorney, Stringer, and Jimmy Giles.
Keith Dorney's the key here. He's a sledgehammer guard and does a great job.
And Jimmy Giles, a real quality tight end, obtained 3 weeks ago. 2nd down and 8.
See, we might see something to Giles here on the right side. They got a slot on the left.
Fumbled and recovered by the quarterback. Remember now, when you're the quarterback at the last minute, you haven't taken many snaps from Mott, the offensive center, the whole week. I bet Ferguson hasn't taken 5 snaps from him.
Well, I talked to him right before the game and I asked him if he thought he was going to play. He said, I really don't know. I doubt it. And here he winds up starting the game. I think when you do that, you give the quarterback an excuse to lose rather than a reason to win.
Hipple had a few exchange problems against Minnesota. He had one inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to get out of there a little bit too soon and didn't get the ball securely. You have to ride your hands a little bit with the center, as you know, Tom, and he didn't do that.
3rd down and 12. Ball is on the 27-yard line.
Now you got a one-on-one on top here.
Good blocking, and a lot of time, and a touchdown in and out of the hands of Jeff Chadwick. And the ball was right on the letters.
Boy, you can't throw him any better than that. And there's another illustration. See, Chadwick has not practiced all week long. He's got a sore Achilles, and when I saw him walking the field, I didn't think he's going to be able to play. But here again, he probably didn't catch a ball all week long. The concentration's not the same, and as a result, it goes right through there for 2 points.
The fastest receiver for the Lions, and the ball was right there. And when you're 3-7, that's what happens. A 44-yard attempt by Eddie Murray now.
That's why you usually wind up being 3-7 when you miss balls like that.
Snap mishandled and put down very strangely that time. Hipple was the holder, but the snap wasn't real good. And Detroit fails to take advantage of a big penalty. No score. The coach of the Eagles, Buddy Ryan, an assistant for a long time with the Bears and the Jets, Vikings.
I tell you something, you know, being around this team for 3 days, you get good feelings, good vibes. I think the squad believes in what the philosophy is here. I know he's made a lot of changes, but he always does it with the idea of getting better. I think this team is on the move, and I think they're going to be a very outstanding team in years to come.
They're scared not to be on the move. 1st down and 10. Second time the Eagles have had the offensive ball. Myers cuts back, breaks the tackle, and gets to the 33.5-yard line. Mitchell makes the tackle from safety, but Myers that time cut back and took it upfield.
I like him. I saw him play against the Rams a few weeks ago, and they beat the Rams, but I think he's going to be a terrific back. But as I mentioned earlier, he's got to run the ball more than 9 times a game.
A lot of young backs are in and out of the lineup. Myers had 78 yards. Totalatasi 76 against Dallas. Haddix and Crawford, you can see they have backs that are fresh, but not getting to carry it very many times. Here's the 2nd and 2 run as Cunningham picks up the 1st down and more to the 39-yard line. Kofor forced him out there. This young man can run.
And that was a designed play. It wasn't by accident. They designed it to run outside. They have both the backs, Byers and Haddix, blocking on the outside to make sure they destroy the containment, and he just takes off and run. He pretends like he's going to throw the ball, but he had no intention of throwing the ball on that last play. He was going to take off and run with it.
And no matter how you prepare your defense, if he does that a few times, they'll end up leaving their men and coming up after him, won't they?
You're right, and then he's got a chance for a big shot.
1st and 10. The Eagles moved the sticks that time. The ball is right on the 40-yard line.
Look at outside left there. Look at all the room he's got on that outside left side. Whoop!
Quick sack, and the flags are down. William Gay came through very quickly. In fact, Cunningham didn't even get the arm back, but the flags also arrived quickly.
He was going to the right guy. Quick had one-on-one coverage.
Against the Eagles, our temporary call here. That's Gordon McCarter.
Illegal motion, number 42 offense, penalty declined, 2nd down.
Byers moved a little bit, declined by the Lions. Good play by William Gay.
Boy, it really was. He got around there. It looked like it was a screen pass the way he came across there. Nobody blocked him.
Kenny Reeves is playing left tackle for the first time this year. He knew he would have trouble with Gay. 2nd down, 16. Cunningham on the rollout. He's got a lot of time this time, but he better throw it. Hit from behind at the 36-yard line. Chased down by Kofor.
Kofor got cut down that time and then got back up. Looked like Haddix got a good block on him, but he still got up and tried to make the play. Great effort on the part of Kofor, number 55, the left linebacker.
After a 3-7 start, most coaches can say, you know, if we had 4 plays changed in this season, we would be 7-3 instead of 3-7.
But the only thing about it is, it's ancient history, and you got to do everything you can to forget. I think the most important thing you have to be able to do as a football team is be able to forget the wins and the losses, and you got to play today.
3rd down and 14, and the blitz is on. Cunningham gets it to the hot receiver, number 86. That's Greg Garrity. Very short of the 1st down. but Cunningham did read that total blitz.
I think it was a sight control pattern, Tommy, meaning that the receiver notices that the safety is going to blitz and automatically breaks off his route to the inside. The quarterback and the receiver were on the same wavelength, and that time they made the completion, but it wasn't good enough for a first down.
Telchik back to punt. This will be his second one of the day. He had a 46-yarder, and Pete Manley at the Detroit 10-yard line.
They do a lot of unusual things from punt formation, this team.
Boy, this is a good-looking punt. Manley at the 9-yard line. Gets one block, gets two blocks, and the flags are down. They're going to call the blocking from behind. Manley got to the 20-yard line.
August Curley, number 50, was clipping on the play. Hit him in the back.
A 16-yard return, and I imagine Detroit's going to find the penalty flag. It's going to hurt them once again. They had 10 penalties in the losing game to Cincinnati. That's incredible. Everybody's under pressure in the NFL, including the Zebras. It is the year of intense pressure. Look at this. Now, Rule A, Appendage 2.
Well, they're all in a soapbox, and they're trying to make a decision.
And both coaches are saying, my life depends upon this. What's the call? How many clips? That's the big problem, huh?
And again, I thought it was Curley, number 50, but I might have been wrong, but it looked like he got a shot at somebody in the back.
There are two fouls on the return. We have holding on number 42, outfielder was declined. Illegal block in the back, number 50 receivers during the return is accepted. After this is penalty, first down.
Two penalties, both against Detroit. Eagles take one of them.
Well, the double dip thing there, yeah.
9:31 left in the first period. A brisk day and no score. One year you had the outstanding offensive team in the nation. Next year, the offensive defensive team in the nation.
Yeah, he did a super job there, and of course, his team now,
State, huh?
Arizona State, they're going to the Rose Bowl this year with his people.
With Michigan State and Michigan both losing yesterday, Darrell says the pressure's on us. The Detroit team's got to win. First and 10 now. This is when Buddy Ryan's defense likes to exert extreme pressure. The ball is on the 7-yard line. Ferguson's the quarterback. Quick drop outside and just missing Giles. Giles was covered by Gary Cobb, the former captain of the Detroit defense before he came to Philadelphia.
And you know, the other thing, the Eagles are changing their alignment a lot. They do it anyhow, but they're shifting a little bit. Looks like to confuse the quarterback as much as they possibly can. They went into the game with that kind of a scheme. And the thing about playing the Philadelphia Eagles, one thing that you have to have, you better have security. You better have the guards out to make sure you protect that quarterback.
Lions outscored 37-7 in the first period. Second down and 10. Ferguson, not Chuck Long, the 14-year veteran, not the rookie. That misdirection handoff. James gets hit at the line of scrimmage. Looked like somebody broke their
Greg Brown, number 98. If they call it on the Eagles, he was the one who was offside, jumped prematurely, number 98 to right in.
Very important for Detroit to get on the scoreboard first. I know that is a very used cliche, but it's true.
Offside,
and the funny thing about that,
number 98 on the defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
The funny thing about that, Tommy, both teams are saying exactly the same thing. We got to score first.
A few times the Eagles did it, they won. They beat the Rams that way. They beat the Atlanta Falcons that way. Detroit played the heck out of Chicago, losing 13-6. They've lost some tough games. Second down and 5. Ferguson is 0 for 3.
With this alignment like it is, there they shifted the defense, you see. You might see something to Jimmy Giles, the tight end on that right side. Nope, they're going to run the ball.
Quick draw, and it's smothered a fumble, and let's see who got it. Ferguson fell on it. The Eagles were awfully close. Cobb was in there fighting for it.
See, Tommy, there's a great illustration of the shifting defenses. It confuses the blocking responsibility and puts a little bit of a burden on the quarterback. Even though Joe's got a lot of experience, there still is a problem. and he tried to get out of there a little bit too quickly again. There was not a good mesh between the quarterback and the ball carrier that time. Here's a replay of it. See the stunt. Here's Reifenbach coming up the middle. You see the penetration they get, and they fumble the football and almost lost it.
3rd down and 10. Lions deep in their own territory on the 7. Ferguson's going for a wide open. Chadwick catches this one at the 40. Being hemmed in now. And Chadwick gets all the way to the 29-yard line. They're bringing him back. The flag is on the goal line. And I'm telling you, Ferguson is going to be mad.
Well, he should be mad, should be upset about it. He threw a beautiful ball.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 7, the offense, jammed to the face. Half the distance penalty, 2 feet to down.
Darney, Keith Darney.
Keith Darney, the right guard. Watch him. He's got the right hand. Yeah, he's got the left hand on his arm, right hand. I think he's giving a little facial, a little massage with the right one in the face, and that's why they call the penalty.
It's hard to tell a good block from the illegal one, isn't
No,
it?
they all look the same. They've legalized holding, so it's tough to call them.
A 64-yard pass play called back. It's 3rd and 14.
But I guarantee you, they're doing the right thing. They have to get the ball up on top. Whenever they get a chance on one-on-one, they shouldn't be afraid to throw it, and they haven't been, and it's going to pay off for them if they continue. If they just get the protection.
Ball is on the 3-yard line. Ferguson in the end zone already. Being pressured, open the receiver and overthrows Leonard Thompson at the 29-yard line, and Roynell Young was up on a step ladder. Ferguson has had an open receiver. Chadwick dropped the ball in the end zone. Now he had Chadwick for 64 yards, and it was called back.
And I was amazed watching Jeff on the sideline before the game. He could hardly walk. I didn't think he'd be able to play, and he's able to run pretty well now that he's got it all warmed up. He had a bad Achilles tendon.
Jim Arnold is the new punter, of course, replacing Black. Last week he had a good kicking day. Greg Garrity is back about midfield for the Eagles. And Arnold is all the way to the back line. This will be a test. A very average kick. Garrity at the 41. The flag is down. Garrity gets to the 34-yard line before Chenure makes that tackle, but the flag is down.
It looked like a penalty on Jody Schultz, number 95. I'm not sure, but he might have been the one who blocked from the back above the waist.
It is blocking from behind. Wouldn't you think they'd change this rule since we spent half of every Sunday having them walk back and forth?
Illegal block in the back, number 95 receiving team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
I tell you, as long as they've been doing this, you can't, invariably, anytime there's a kick, the first thing you look for is flags, not the return, but the flags.
No score. Beautiful day. 58,000 plus have turned out here at the Vet. Almost a sellout of over 60,000. There's Matt Darwin, the rookie from Texas Aggies. He's going against Eric Williams. We'll try to watch that engagement a little bit. 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
They got to get the ball to the tight end a little bit, too much as they're playing zone. Here's a sprint draw.
A little sprint draw to Byers, who gets darn near 10 yards to the 35-yard line. A good bit of ball handling by Cunningham.
That's a great play because Gay is so concerned about keeping him inside the pocket. He was way up the field, and they run right inside of him. Look at this. Sprint draw. He thinks he's coming outside. Look at Gay way up the field, and as a result, it creates a cavity, and Byers is able to pop right through there for a nice gain.
It's just short. It's 2nd down and 1. A 9-yard carry by Keith Byers. 20 yards on 3 carries. Looks like he may be busy. Byers cuts inside, fakes the drive inside, Cunningham to the 20-yard line. And the reception was so good, I thought Byers had it.
The key to the success of this play, he didn't fake with a hand, he faked with a ball. And watch this now. He puts the ball right into Byers, takes it out. Kofor takes a sniff of the fake, and he goes right on the outside and goes right down the sideline. He better tuck the ball away before somebody strips it loose, but it's a beautiful play, well executed by Randall Cunningham, And again, the quarterback adds another dimension to that offensive scheme of things.
Galloway tackled him, but not before a 15-yard gamble by the long-legged one. He is 6'4", and he is talented. We told you that. A timeout being used now. Eagles probably. Let's go to New York now for an update with Brent Musburger. Brent?
Catching her head after that 2-touchdown shot early in the game.
Garrity, the Penn Stater there, number 86, talking to Randall Cunningham, the new quarterback. Next Saturday on CBS Sports, catch a doubleheader day of college football. A Big Ten matchup. The Wolverines of Michigan taking on the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Talk about people who don't like one another. The winner gets the Big Ten title and a trip to the Rose Bowl. Then it's Arizona State and the Sun Devils, who they're already going to the Rose Bowl. They take on Arizona. They haven't beaten Arizona in 4 years.
Yeah, Jim Cooper has really done a great job with that team.
Good college football right here on CBS next Saturday. It'll be the first Rose Bowl assignment for somebody other than those teams on the West Coast this year, huh?
Yeah, and that makes it fun. It makes it a lot better game. You got to spread it around a little bit.
First Arizona school to go to the Rose Bowl. And of course, the Detroit coach had a lot to do with that program. They've got Arizona State. Darryl Rogers recruited a lot of those young people.
Well, he kidded about that yesterday. We asked him, he said, well, that same team went 5-5 when I was coaching them. And I said, well, did you think they were going to eventually go to the Rose Bowl? He said, no, I didn't. If I did, I would still be at Arizona State.
Here he's talking to Keith Dorney, one of the great pros. His 101st game, and he's saying, I got a bad penalty called on me that last series. 1st and 10. Cunningham is being rushed and sacked back at the 29-yard line by Keith Ferguson. He must have come right by Joe Conwell, the new right tackle.
Watching a left of your screen, number 77, Keith Ferguson. Yeah, he just takes an outside rush, and Conwell didn't even touch him. He went right by there and made the sack. A beautiful move. Of course, he's a very good pass rusher anyhow, Ferguson. I was surprised when he left San Diego.
Yeah,
I thought he did a great job for San Diego.
2nd down and 17. The second sack on number 12. He has 31 for the year, and he hasn't played much. Out in the flat. Good throw to Byers. Byers hit, and now being really roughhoused by about 5 different Lions. Maxwell was first. Mad Max.
Down in here, the Lions are very tough. They really are. They play a lot of zone defenses and a great variety of things. And Wayne Fonts has really done a terrific job with his defensive personality and the personnel of this team. Really has.
And of course, under the coach, they're allowed to take care and run their units. There's Wayne Fonts.
Well, he not only has the responsibility, but he has the authority, and that's the way it has to be.
Is he going to Cal as the head coach back in college, do you know?
Well, there's a lot of birdseed around the country being sprinkled about that job, and he's involved in it.
3rd down and 16. The flags are down. Cunningham misses Jackson. A very poor throw, low and away. And the flag was already down the far side of that pocket.
That was a sloppy wrist that time. Tommy threw that like a curveball. And as a result, it took off and got there. It was upside down when it got to the receiver.
Illegal motion, 86 on the offense, penalty decline, 4th down.
Garrity was caught for illegal procedure. And the one thing I've seen about Detroit today is that they're blitzing a lot more than they normally do. They only have 16 sacks coming in, one of the lowest in the league.
Well, I think they feel they have to get some penetration against Cunningham. They just can't sit back there and read and react because it creates some good cavities. And as a result, it gives him a lot of an opportunity to run.
McFadden has missed 4 of his last 8 and says he's simply out of his rhythm. Now, the new holder is Telchik, since Jaworski is up here in the booth next to us with the staff. It's a look to the left.
See, and I watched it before the game. Tommy, and his left foot was pointed in that direction most of the time on that hash mark, and it was on that last kick. Foot now. Watch McFadden's left foot is pointing in the direction left of the uprights toward the padding on the pole to the left of the goalpost, and that's exactly where it kicks the ball. Gets a big hook on it, and it's no good.
And again, we repeat, Telchik, the punter, is holding for the first time because Ron Jaworski, with his injured right little finger, cannot hold.
And the ball is always going to go right where the left foot directs it.
Ferguson is 0 for 4 and has had a couple that should have been one caught and one was called back, but he has -2 in yardage for Detroit so far today. 1st and 10. On the straight pattern, Chadwick is open. Chadwick behind Cooper is going to score. Chadwick is in for a touchdown. I don't see a flag down. And Ferguson threw a beautiful, soft, looping throw, and Chadwick took it going away. A 73-yard touchdown pass. Boy, you know something? Ferguson deserved it.
And, you know, you have to give him a lot of credit. That's the scheme. That's the personality that you have to express playing against the Eagles, because they play so much man-for-man coverage. You got to challenge it up on top, and they've done it consistently. They dropped one for a touchdown. They had another one.
An undue demonstration after the score against number 89 on the offense. A 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
He spiked it over the goalpost, and of course one of the great rules they never should have put in was that you can't have any spontaneity in the end zone after a great touchdown of 73 yards.
Yeah, you should be able to express some animation and joy after making a big play.
Ferguson, by the way, that's his 184th touchdown of a great career. He's never won a Super Bowl, but Fergie's right up in there with the top passers of all time. The kick by Murray is perfect, and he hasn't missed an extra point all year. The longest Detroit pass play of the year.
He laid that up on top beautifully. There you see it. Right over the top on Evan Cooper. And he just runs right by him. The ball is thrown beautifully right on the money. And he escapes the possibility of a tackle by Evan Cooper and goes all the way into the end zone. Changes the scoreboard, and the Lions have 7 on the board.
Remember we were talking to Chuck Long about if he got in the game against this stunning defense of Buddy Ryan's and all that, but he says yes, but if they do a lot of stunning, it's a double-edged sword. You can be beaten for big gainers for touchdowns while you're getting sacked part of the day.
Well, that's always a philosophy, but I guarantee you, if I were Chuck Long or the coach of Chuck Long, this is the one team that I certainly would not play him against or start him against, because there's too many things that can happen that could be wrong and would destroy maybe the confidence of the young quarterback. And I think there's a lot of other teams that would be much, much better to start him against than this one.
Ferguson, he'll just keep it simple and beat it with a simple pass, like that was a simple straight.
You just have to keep playing ante over, keep throwing the ball on top, and one of these times you're going to make some big plays, and all you need is 3 or 4 big plays. You got 20, 21, or 28 points.
The Lions, with a -2 yards total, have just struck for 72 yards, and they lead 7-0. It's a crazy game, isn't it?
I think if you were asked any quarterback in the National Football League, they'd all say they love to throw against man-for-man all the time if they got the protection.
Crawford at the 10-yard line, a 240-pounder who comes straight out to the 31. A big touchdown in the first quarter since Detroit had not scored. Was what, 3 points in the first quarter all year long? 7 points in the first quarter all year long. Don't forget, in the NFL next week and right here on CBS, Detroit against Tampa Bay. It all starts with the NFL today, next Sunday on CBS, 12:30 Eastern Time. Brent and all the people back in the studio, or some of you might see Green Bay against Chicago. Packers are playing well. Myers hit behind the line of scrimmage as the flags fall. A loss of 2 as Kofer and company look like they're enraged today.
It looked like it might have been a penalty on 66, Ken Reeves, the left tackle. I couldn't tell for sure, but it looked like it might have been him. Reeves had been playing guard. They moved him to left tackle. He likes the position.
Here's Gordon McCarter.
Illegal use of the hands, number 26 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Haddix. Well, I saw 6, and I thought maybe it was Ken Reeves, but it was Haddix on the play.
The Lions defense came in ranked 27 in total defense. But they look today like they're going to take it to the Eagles, and they've got that scoreboard in their favor already, 7-0. Straight drop back by Cunningham. He's being rushed. Screen to the outside. Haddix has it to 20. Haddix is hit for a somersault just short of the 30-yard line. He's still 10 yards short of any kind of a first down. Galloway went right under him.
And Ron Baker pulled on the play the right guard, number 63, and got a good block out in front. Watch Ron Baker, number 63, gets a good shot. He gets a good hit on Kofer, number 55, and enables Haddix to go outside and pick up extra yardage on the play.
Galloway flipped him right over, and Robinson helped him. There's Baker, one of the real good pulling guards. And I don't mean he can't block straight away, but he can really pull and do a very good job.
Yeah, you know, and the other thing about it is he got good and low on that last play, and a lot of times those big linemen, 6'4", 6'5", the most difficult thing for them to do is to get low enough and get leverage on a defensive back.
Michael Haddix was hurt on that last tackle. The AstroTurf looks nice, and it's pretty on camera, but it is hard as cement. Cunningham is 4 of 6 for 24 yards. And the young quarterback will face second down and 10. Anthony Toney in there now for Haddix.
They got to get the ball to the tight end against that zone defense. So I'm talking about the Eagles. Spagnola.
Like William Gay may have jumped a little early. The ball is batted down. Anticipating perhaps the young quarterback's cadence.
I think the other thing with the way Gay is coming across the line of scrimmage, they've got to run inside of him and trap him some, because he's really worried about containment and trying to keep Cunningham in the pocket.
Offsides, 79 defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
William Gay started out as a tight end with the Denver Broncos and has become a real good pass rusher. Second down and 5 to go now. Penalties, each team with 4. Cunningham with the I formation behind him. Tony and Keith Byers. This is that draw to Byers, who is tackled short of the 40-yard line. Eric Williams recovered to make the tackle. It's going to be awfully close to the first down.
Yeah, Williams that time got a piece of him, kind of a side shot, but slowed him down enough where it kept him from making extra yardage on the play.
Byers had the small metatarsal bone worked on, and he's been trying to rehab, but he actually had no preseason and is just really getting into some kind of shape now. Third down and call it a yard, but it's less than that.
They're leaning left with the back way up in front of the... Oh, they're going to run a quarterback sneak.
Cunningham gets to the 41-yard line, and there's a lot of extra action going on. When you get teams that are 3 and 7, when you go to the meat market, you get the worst chicken. Haddix with a bruised knee, number 26, who left for the Eagles, and he should be able to return. It's not deemed serious. Green Bay laying it on Tampa Bay, 14-0. Tough year for Forrest Gregg. First and 10.
Got to get the ball to that tight end.
Straight drop back, and the blitz is on. A good throw out in the flat. Byers has to try a one-handed catch, and it looked like Cunningham changed his mind as he let that one go. Mike Quick hasn't caught a ball, and he has to be among the top 3 or 4 outside receivers in football. Number 82, he hasn't even had a shot yet.
Well, that's one thing that you have to do when you play the Lions with as much zone as they play. They don't get a lot of penetration. You got to take the skateboard. You got to travel slow. If you get impatient, you're in trouble.
When you think it might open up for Quick and Jackson later if he's patient now. Huh?
But I think they got to throw underneath.
Second down 10. The action is not picked up. They got him in the grass back at the 29.5-yard line. Keith Ferguson gets the 3rd sack for Detroit.
Boy, that's a bad rule, Tommy. You know, I think everybody in the league now has a quarterback who can move by design, has great escapability skill, and now, you know, those are great plays when a guy can elude a would-be tackler or break the grasp. Now, here's a great illustration of it here. Look at Cunningham goes back in the pocket. It caves in on him. He goes to the outside. Ferguson gets a shot at him. He doesn't have control of him. He could have ran to the left. You see, maybe made a big play, but he's eliminated that possibility with that rule. I think it's a bad rule.
Now, that's why you draft somebody with that kind of dexterity, isn't it?
Well, it used to be you had a lot of cigar star Indians back there who couldn't move, you know. Now you got guys who can move, and you change the rule.
Third down at 21. The pressure's on again. This time he gets away. No grasp call. And he's throwing a bomb. Cunningham throwing for Kenny Jackson, and it's intercepted at the 5-yard line. by number 31, Devon Mitchell. The rookie gets back to the 17-yard line, and that ball was thrown about 70 yards in the air.
It was good for distance, but bad for effect. And you know what happened? He did a poor job that time, too, Tommy. He should have taken off and run the ball. He could have run for the first down. He was wide open, and he decided to throw the ball down. You know, an average defensive back, once the ball is in the air, can cover at least 20 yards, as you know. You used to be able to cover 25.
Oh, yeah, I was so swift.
There's no way in the world. That ball probably has a little ice on it. It was up there so high.
Mitchell's third interception of the year. One of the real good rookies to come into this league. Boy, Russ Thomas and those people are really happy with him. First and 10. Ferguson is the quarterback. Chuck Long has not taken a snap. Misdirection. Jones is trapped back on the 14. Seth Joyner ate him up.
Watch Joyner on the right of the screen, number 59, the right linebacker. He gets penetration. Nobody blocks him, wraps him up, and makes the tackle. Reichenbach is in there to try to help him, but the initial hit was made by Seth Joyner, number 59. Nobody blocked him on the play.
A different formation defensively facing you almost on every play if you're playing against Ryan's team.
And it doesn't make it where the alignment is. You still got to keep throwing the ball up on top, Tommy, as much as you can, as long as you get single coverage, and especially on Everett Cooper on the right side.
Second down, 13 to sprint out right. Going back. Ferguson has a screen man and can't get it. Jimmy Giles, the tight end, had slipped back and was forming a screen.
You know what happened that time? Lomas Brown was coming out in that same area, and he's so big, he blocked the view of the quarterback of the tight end. He couldn't find him, and that's why he threw the ball so poorly.
You can see Lomas, number 75 there, walking with Giles. Lomas is at least at 310.
It looked like somebody automatically put up a portable wall there for a second. He couldn't see the receiver.
Boy, what a pickup for Detroit to get Jimmy Giles. I always thought he had to be in the top 2 or 3 tight ends in football.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it.
Third down and 13. Ferguson is 1 of 6, but that one, he threw Cork for 72 yards.
Now he's got a one-on-one on the right side, a bump and run. He ought to go up on top again. He ought to try it. Here he goes.
He's going to run out of there. He's going to run. A cagey veteran gets to the 30-yard line, is knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be a Detroit first down. Terry Hogue finally got him.
Let's go. Come on.
Watch Reggie Wright, number 92 on Stringer, and he knocks off the block, tries to get a piece of him, and Ferguson runs right up the alley, right up the middle, and is smart enough to know where he has to go for the first down. He's finally knocked out of bounds by Terry Hogue. Yeah.
He's running like, Ferguson was running like Burt Reynolds in the longest yard or something. That's his first carry of the year, by the way, for number 12, 14 yards.
I think his pants are too tight.
A good scramble by the veteran. First and 10. Lions are out of trouble. Handoff. James tackled, hit behind the line of scrimmage, stacked up at the 29-yard line. Seth Joyner in on another tackle.
He's another kid who looks like he's going to be a terrific runner. Talking about Gary James, but he's another guy that has to carry the ball more than 9 times a game, Tommy. And, of course, against this kind of a team, it's hard to run.
Detroit struck fast and hard, 7-0. And Hank Stram at Met Stadium, Philadelphia. Detroit with a 7-0 lead. The one completion by Ferguson was a 72-yard bomb to Chadwick for a touchdown. Had one should have been caught, one was called back. It was a rather interesting, if not efficient, first quarter for the offense. Stringer and Dorney, you can see there. By the way, James has -5 yards rushing, and Jones has a -1 yard rushing.
That's
Second down and 10.
One thing you're not going to do, you're not going to beat the Eagles running the football unless about 3 of those guys have a heart attack during the game.
Ferguson has been the starter. Much debate whether Chuck Long would be in here or maybe Eric Heppel, but number 12 came out, the old gunslinger, and he's running it. Straight drop, 2 steps, inside, and misses Leonard Thompson by at least a yard.
They fooled him that time. They were not in man-for-man coverage. They were in a zone. And I think it surprised Ferguson a little bit and threw the ball behind him.
One of the most interesting teams in the league last year in '85 were the Lions at home, where they beat Miami, they beat San Francisco, they beat the Jets, they beat Dallas. Almost unbeatable in the Silverdome, and this year they haven't played as well at home.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is, too, Tommy, you're going to have a good year, and you got the kicking game's going to win or lose 5 to 7 games a year. And, you know, they've lost about 3 games, I think, because of the kicking game, and that kills you.
3rd down and 10. Pro set backs. Wide set in that Detroit backfield. And they use up the clock. It'll cost the Lions 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 15 facing Ferguson. The offensive line for Detroit seems to almost be set now. With
offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
With Dorney now in at right guard and Big Stringer at right tackle. Mott at center. They got Salem at left guard. They obtained him for, what, a 2nd-round choice from Houston?
Yeah, I know my old line coach, Bill Walsh, was at Houston and is still there, but he liked Salem very much. He thought he was going to be a great player.
And when they get it rushing like they did against Minnesota earlier, they can rush the football. Not today. 3rd down and 15.
Well, you got a one-on-one
on.
You got a one-on-one on the left side this time.
Now they drop back into another package. Ferguson going right away to the outside. And Herman Hunter, the former Eagle, is swamped under at the 31.
Some of those kind of passes, Tom, can be very effective because the linebackers of the Eagles, they really turn and run and just take off to help the corners. They don't see what's happening behind, and as a result, sometimes you can break a tackle and make a big play.
Jim Arnold, the new punter, had a great day a week ago. He had 6 for a 43-plus average. And Black was a great punter, but he just had lost his confidence. And back is Greg Garrity.
Garrity doesn't have great speed, but he's got like maybe 4.8 speed, 4.7 speed, but he's got 4.3 hands. Catches the ball very well, and that's the important thing about catching a punt. Catch it.
This is a pretty good kick this time. Not too much wind. Garrity at the 27-yard line. Gets to probably the 32-yard line. And Cunningham will bring out the Eagle offense, and there hadn't been much of it. It's 7-0 Detroit. Years and one of the toughest pros that's ever gotten up and thrown again. You know that?
I talked to him last night, and he said, "It's not over yet, Coach. I'll be back." We got to get in the Polish National Hall of Fame in Detroit, too. He belongs to that Polish Hall of Fame.
He'll get there. He's in the booth up with the Eagle coaches, helping them get some stuff down to this young man, Randall Cunningham, who is certainly the present and the future of the Eagles. Randall has 24 yards passing and 25 rushing. And this is a pass. Reloads it, throws, and just misses Kenny Jackson coming across the middle. That's the first time that I've seen Randall Cunningham reload and throw the ball somewhere else.
You know what he did that time? He was trying to throw the ball to the right side. I think they rolled up into his zone, and he went off to the second receiver, and he really wasn't set. He's got such a great arm that he throws a lot of balls with his arm instead of his legs, and that time he just misfired.
This defensive team that we're seeing for Detroit is much different than the one I've seen earlier in the year. They're very aggressive. They're gambling a lot for Wayne Fox. And it's 2nd down and 10 facing Cunningham. Inside handoff, Byers. On a yard or two. Detroit playing good defense on 1st down, which really sets up the whole series, doesn't it?
It really does, and they're not getting much penetration.
Philadelphia's first 4 possessions, a punt. They missed the field goal badly. And the interception that was thrown a ton by young Cunningham.
You know, as you look at the Eagles so far, it's kind of a grab bag thing. You know, they haven't established anything, and they can't hang their hat on anything, and as a result, that's why they haven't really done anything offensively.
3rd down and 8. Cunningham going from the up stance. Now he's going to have to run, and he's still on his feet. Look out now. Look out. Up the sidelines. Into the Detroit bench at the 47.5-yard line. Bostic forced him out. He is excited, isn't he?
He makes it happen. He surely makes it happen, and you better be under control and keep him in the pocket, or else he's going to do just what he did there. Here again, there's a great illustration of his great capacity to scramble. Look at him. Right back in the pocket. Favors the right side. Ferguson has a shot at him. He goes back on the outside. Now he's running down the sideline. He knows exactly where he has to go. Makes a little dipsy-do there, and is finally knocked out of bounds. by John Bostic, number 42.
Cunningham would have been one of the great samba dancers of all time. How can he move those feet?
Yes, he can.
1st and 10. Little throwback. This is the option pass by Byers, who's tackled on the 40-yard line. He had it loaded, but he couldn't squeeze off the round. Keith Ferguson got him. The 4th Detroit sack.
Buddy told us about this play yesterday, but the defensive backs really did a good job. Watch Devon Mitchell coming way back there deep. He did not take a little sniff of the fake at all. Stayed right back there all the time, had no chance whatsoever to make that play.
And it was a bad fake. Byers didn't carry it out like he looked like he was running, and even Cunningham looked like he didn't know what to do with the ball.
Cunningham,
bad play.
yeah, Cunningham threw it like it was a hot potato.
2nd down. And 18 to go. Bad play. Looked bad all the way, really. Double bounce. Byers gets nailed as he tries to get the spiked ball, but it's an incomplete, and Cunningham is down.
Ferguson really got a great shot at him and hit him right about the time he threw the football. It was a good hit. Watch Ferguson from the left, number 77. Watch, he makes an inside move and gets into the alley. Conwell misses the block and looks at him. It's a good legal hit. Puts his arms around and wraps him up and throws him right down to the turf. A good play by Keith Ferguson, number 77, who beat Joe Conwell that time, the right tackle.
Ferguson went after Kramer the opening game of the season and had a heck of a fight going. He is aggressive and playing well at defensive left end. 3rd down and 18. The flags are down. Cunningham is out, but the flags were down early. Cunningham for the 1st down to the 39-yard line, but the flags were down early.
It looked like Ferguson was offside, and I don't know who else.
When number 12 starts running, the crowd starts rising.
Multiple fouls on the defense. Offside. That penalty will be declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 57 accepted. 15 yards from the dead ball spot.
Number 57 for the late play. That's Vernon Maxwell. Mad Max hit him in the back when he was on the ground, I believe.
Maxwell is supposed to be the cop here. Look at him. He's on the inside. Watch, 57. Now, he's a cop. He's watching the quarterback, you see. And he's going to go wherever he goes if he decides to get out of the pocket. Now he runs out of the pocket. Here he's running to the outside. You see Kofor coming from behind, and let's see what happens here with Maxwell. There's Maxwell trying to give him a shot late.
And they caught him, and that's the penalty that you see marked off. 1st and 10. The Eagles deep inside now, inside the 25-yard line. Tony's in there.
Boy, Ferguson's having a great afternoon. He's getting good penetration on the quarterback and good penetration on the run. He just made that tackle.
Remember, the only scoring in the 1st quarter was a touchdown bomb, a 72-yarder. Ferguson to Chadwick. We're at Vet Stadium, of course, in the 2nd period with the Eagles now. The first chance they've really had to score except for a missed field goal by McFadden from about 35 yards out. Tom Brookshier and Hank Stram. I'm not sure what that was. 2nd down and 7. The misdirection play. Myers inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Harrell and Ferguson. Ferguson has to have been in on 9 tackles already.
And Conwell is really, he's given Joe Conwell, the right tackle a fit. Now, Conwell has been playing left tackle. He's been moved to right tackle, and perhaps that's a problem for him. But regardless of what the situation is, he's getting licked.
Conwell moved from left to right tackle, and it is his 1st year in the NFL anyway. There he is. He's big and strong, and he's very inexperienced. 3rd down and 4.
They got a one-on-one on the outside. They ought to try to get up on top here.
Throw out in the flat. Tony takes it. The rookie from Texas Aggies gets enough, what looks like almost enough for a 1st down. And the crowd roars. Let's see if it's a 1st down or short. No, it's going to be
a little short. And in this situation, the basic rule of thumb is You know, if you got a yard or more to go, you're going to kick the field goal. Less than a yard, you're going to go for it. Usually, depending on how good the line is taken off, evidently, they feel they have to get 3 points.
McFadden is in now, the barefooted one. He has kicked with the shoe on sometimes, but not today.
Yeah, it's a new holder, and I think that's a good decision because I think at this stage of the game, the way they're going, they got to get 3 points.
This one looks like it's down in pretty good shape. And the McFadden of old gets his kick, a 33-yarder, and the Eagles are on the board. It's 7-3. Paul McFadden, one of the great kickers, but he's having a tough year. He was 82% successful coming into this season, but he's been struggling to that last one.
Well, after kicking at that pace, you're going to have a little dip, but I think the biggest problem really is he's lost a little bit of his confidence. He's kind of talking to himself, talking to him yesterday. He was very concerned about the way he's been kicking, plus the fact he's a little concerned about the fact that he didn't have Jaworski holding.
Herman Hunter, the former Eagle, waits for this. He takes it 3 yards deep and is going to run it out. Herman Hunter, touchback, is hit hard at the 16-yard line by Seth Joyner. Next Sunday on CBS, it all starts with the NFL Today at the studio in New York. Then some of you will see Detroit against Tampa Bay. They had a pretty vicious game earlier in the year that Tampa Bay won. Green Bay against Chicago. All starts 12:30 Eastern time. And then, of course, Dallas against Washington. The old doubleheader right here on CBS.
I think the way Washington's playing, I kind of like Washington against Dallas. Don't you, Tom?
Well, I don't know. I think Dallas is going to get better all the way down the stretch. I think Dallas is going to win it. Ferguson going outside and really throwing it away from Giles at the 30-yard line.
I don't think they will without White, Tommy.
Well, a lot of people think that Pelluer was going to take over down there anyway, and maybe the injuries that happen to quarterbacks sometimes the coach might want for them to happen.
Well, of course, I think eventually he might take that job and that responsibility maybe 2 or 3 years down the road.
Yeah. That's right. Of course, Landry's the only guy that can look 2 or 3 years down the road. He's been looking for 23 years down the road. Second down and 10 here in Philadelphia. We've got a young rookie quarterback named Ferguson in there who's only been in the league for 14 years.
And he can't stop doing what he was doing early. He's got to keep pumping the ball up and throwing the football.
Good throw by Ferguson. He has Chadwick at the 35. And Chadwick gets to the 40 with some good second effort. He has Hogue on his back.
You know, really, I just can't get over. You talk about throwing a frozen rope. After all these years, he's got a great arm and gets rid of it quickly. He reads defense as well. That thing looks like it's on a trolley line. Look at it. Watch it.
It does.
Look at their blitzing again, but they pick up. The security is good, see? Steps up into the pocket right before he gets hit and gets the ball right on the numbers to Chadwick. And that's important in the middle area to get the ball at the numbers. You throw it high, usually it's deflected and winds up being an interception.
Reggie White and company and Reichenbach, the linebacker, but Ferguson stayed right in there. The gritty one, they call it. First and 10. Big rush, and this time Ferguson gets away. No, he's down. Seth Joyner came from the outside, and the Eagles get their first sack of the afternoon.
Seth Joyner coming in from the left of your screen on the blitz. Watch him. There he is. Nobody blocks him. But, you know, if you're going to play that kind of a defense, you got to know that going into the game offensively. And you're going to look bad on occasions, but you can't let that stop you. You still have to maintain the same plan, the same personality, and keep going after him, because all you need is one shot and you got 7 points.
Joyner's out of UTEP down in El Paso. He jumped for joy, but that sack is first. Second down and 22 to go now.
Now they're mixing it up a little bit alignment-wise.
They're doubling on Reggie White. Oh, the receiver is hit coming across at the 30-yard line. Reichenbach put Alvin Moore away, and the balls went harmlessly along the ground.
See, that's a great illustration of what I talked about a moment ago. You throw the ball up high. In the middle area, there's always a chance for an interception.
Those receivers want it as early as possible and low.
That's right at the numbers.
Upset time. Atlanta having a lot of problems the last 4 or 5 weeks, but they've got a Joel Williams interception run back for a touchdown, and they lead the Bears 10-0.
I don't think there's any question about the fact that Bears are not the same as they were a year ago. No question about that.
Well, they're fighting among themselves more. They're sure doing that well.
Well, I don't know who's running the asylum.
Third down at 22. Ferguson on the run. intercepted. They're going to call it intercepted by Hogue, or was he out of bounds? They're going to say he was out of bounds. A lot of pressure on number 12.
Reggie White, number 92. Watch him. Starts, fights a little bit on the line of scrimmage, goes to the outside, uses his hands well, and gets a shot on Ferguson, but not until after he got rid of the football.
They're moving Reggie White around on that defense so that the offensive linemen have to seek him out. Here's Jim Arnold now. His last kick was a good one. There is a pretty good breeze, and it might be right behind Arnold. He might really be able to get all of this one. Oh, he almost got it blocked. Number 25 came in and almost blocked it. That was Tony. Ball bounces to the 35, where the Eagle offense will take over. It's 7-3.
Rushing from the left side, should have blocked this kick had he gone out in front instead of trying to go around. He got a little block there, but had he gotten there quicker, he'd have been able to block that kick. He got way too much penetration.
Randall Cunningham on the sidelines. Looks like he may have sprained something. That last offensive series, he limped off. And we've got Kavanaugh, number 6, obtained from the 49ers for a couple of second-round draft choices and a third, and has not had really a great time yet here in Philadelphia. In fact, he's been booed a lot.
The Eagles still have to get the ball. They're tight end some with the way they're playing a zone defense.
Myers gets the handoff from Kavanaugh, and just over the 40-yard line. The flags are down. It's either a late hit or something. Wayne Galloway, number 40, made the tackle. Philadelphia's minus 2 yards net passing. Grabbing the face mask. Because of the 4 sacks, minus 2 yards passing for the Eagles in the second period.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty committed against the ball carrier. Still second down.
The entire Lion defense grabbed the face mask of Keith Myers.
And Galloway, you know, talking to Wayne Fonts, he really likes him. He thinks this kid's a great football player, going to be a big help to them. And he's been cut by the Canadian Football League, the United States Football League, the National Football League, but he's back in business playing. He's got the shingle back up. He's open for business.
Tough little guy. Second down and 2 following the run and the subsequent penalty. Kavanaugh, the 2-step drop, out to Myers. Oh, Myers breaks one tackle, and here comes the blue wave, forcing him all the way out of bounds. Let's go to the NFL Update studio. Brent, you got it.
Well, Brookie, it's all uphill now for the Chicago Bears. Mike Tomczak's second interception picked off by Joel Williams. He scores for the Falcons. It's 10-0. Brookie, the Bears do not yet have a first down against Marion Campbell's defense. Back to Brookie.
All right, Brent, no first downs for the Chicago Bears yet against the old Swamp Fox, Marion Campbell, the former Eagle head coach here.
You've got to really be patient to play against that defense. You've got to be very careful, very patient, or else you're going to get yourself in trouble trying to do something too quickly.
Second down and 5. The handoff goes to Myers. Myers breaks one tackle and gets to the 47-yard line. Might be closer to the first down than it looks. Bruce McNorton making the stop there.
That's the only time they use that play in this game. They haven't had it in the offense at sprint draw, and it's really been the most effective thing they've done from a running standpoint all afternoon, with the exception of Gunningham.
When you say a sprint draw, you take it back, you sprint back, and give it to the player as a deep handoff.
Well, you try to create the impression that you're going to roll out to your left or right, and then in the process you give it to the back. And in the meantime, Gay is coming up the field to try to stop that outside run by the quarterback, and they slip it inside of him, and he goes right by there for a big game.
Randall Cunningham is back in. The cheers come up. They move the sticks, by the way, so Kavanaugh got the first down for him, and he's back under wraps. Back on the spread out by number 12, and he's hit by Eric Williams from behind. The 5th sack back on the Eagle 41.
Now, Eric Williams, number 76, is on the nose, and he's playing the piano, using his hands good. Watch him. Look at it. Uses his hands. He sees a quarterback. He goes with a flow, gets a good answer. They try to block him, but in spite of that, he puts a squeeze on him, puts him in a nutcracker, and makes the tackle.
We're told that Cunningham's injury was something caught in his throat. Now, it wasn't a fist or anything, but he couldn't talk for a couple of seconds, And now he's all right and probably can call the cadence out. It'd be very hard to be a quarterback and not speak. 6 minutes left before halftime. A 7-3 Detroit lead. Second down and 16. Boy, the blue rush is on the
They
day.
blitz again.
Cunningham's flushed out and being chased and tackled out of bounds at the 40 by Maxwell. And Maxwell has speed.
Maxwell has speed, and plus the fact that, talking to Wayne Fonts, he's in charge of keeping track and keeping control on Cunningham. Yeah, he's the cop. He's the policeman.
That's what you said. There's Wayne. He says, yeah, he's my cop. He watches him wherever he goes.
I asked him if he had the handcuffs and also the badge. He said, no, he doesn't have that, but he'd be watching him like a cop.
They're calling that a sack. It looked like a little bit of a scramble, but it'll go as the 6th sack for Detroit.
I tell you, I'm surprised. I haven't seen Detroit play in a couple of years. I'm surprised they're playing very well defensively.
They've lost about 5 games by less than 6 points. That is a frustrating season. This time, number 12 stays in the pocket, throws a strike to Garrity. A first down to the 36-yard line of Detroit. Good catch and a very fine throw out of the pocket by Cunningham.
And that's where you have to throw the ball against that zone. And watch Cunningham go back in the pocket, throws the ball to Garrity, and he's finally tackled by James Griffin, number 34. They're getting good pressure on the outside. Reeves, number 66, the left tackle, really makes a great block on Gay that time, and Cunningham rifles the ball right down the middle.
A 24-yard strike to Garrity. Cunningham being patient and stayed in the pocket. How unusual. First and 10. In Detroit territory, the Lions lead 7-3. Here's that sprint off, fumbled by Byers, but it came right back up for him. That handoff was down on the knee pad.
Well, you know, I think what happened on the play, Ferguson was getting penetration, and I think Byers saw him coming and took his eye off the ball and was looking at Ferguson and missed the connection. Let's see the exchange here. Yeah, he doesn't have his inside arm up. That's right, hits his hand, but he's looking at Ferguson instead of looking for the ball.
He was looking.
And you can't blame him, I guess.
I don't blame him for sneaking a peek, but you got to get the ball.
You better get the ball first.
Second down and 10. Byers goes off.
That's the trouble with having that good vision.
Maddox is in the game now. Behind Cunningham.
I can't understand. They still haven't thrown the ball to the tight end.
A fake toss, and he was going to sort of sprint out to the left. McCarter stops it.
Ball start, 62 offense.
Ball start, number 62 on the offense. That's Nick Hayden, starting his second game at left guard. Hayden blocked very well against the Giants a week ago and actually did some peel-back blocks on Lawrence Taylor. When he's thrown, 5 yards when he's thrown, 18 when he's passed, run 7. That's too complicated for me, folks. I can't handle that one. But he is a very active quarterback. When he runs on the outside, he can score from there. It's not always in desperation. A lot of the Eagle offense is built on his running ability.
Second down. This confused the Eagles. Therefore, I am resetting the 30-second clock.
The 5th penalty on the Eagles, and Buddy Ryan, who is very composed on the sidelines. I know that's a shock for people to understand, but he really is under control more than any coach almost in this league on the sidelines.
Surprising. That's right. The things you read about him, but he knows what's going on. He's out there seeing it all.
He's wild on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, though. Second down and 15. The ball, is it called an incomplete? They're going to call him down at midfield as William Gay got the 7th sack for Detroit. I don't know if the arm is starting forward or not.
No, it wasn't. That would have been a fumble under ordinary conditions because he really didn't have a chance to get it forward. It didn't look like it anyhow. But I tell you, that defensive line and the linebackers are doing a great job for Detroit. Let's take a look at this now. Look at Gay coming, number 79 on the outside. Hayden's trying to block him. And he gets the ball back and it slips out of there. That would have been a fumble. He just brought it back like he's going to throw the ball and it fell right out of there.
Gay, very active, and of course the entire rush line, including those linebackers. That's the 7th sack as Cunningham calls a tee here to go over and regroup a little bit. 7-3. The only other scoring opportunity that the Eagles had was a missed 34-yard field goal by McFadden, and the touchdown bomb was Chadwick catching a 72-yard pass from Ferguson.
Cunningham said a funny thing at practice the other day. He was out there throwing the ball, and he told the receivers, listen, make sure you run those patterns right, because I don't want any of those long-distance losses. And if you don't run the pattern right, I'm going to tuck it away and run. That's what he's done here a lot this afternoon.
He said that it wasn't so much learning to read the defenses in this league as getting the time so that you didn't have to scatter and run. And I think he maybe realizes that, of course, there hasn't been a lot of time in that pocket today either.
Well, I think the other thing is so important that you get as you go along as a young quarterback. You have to have great anticipation. Look at Wayne Fonts is on the soapbox here talking to the defense.
He's running for re-election, boy.
Well,
I'd vote for him. He's the most positive guy I know.
Well, the great thing about it is I think from a defensive standpoint, you want a guy that's a gregarious, loud, enthusiastic guy working with that defense, because it spills off on the defensive players, and you have to play that way defensively, and I think the defense reflects his personality.
Remember, Chicago beat them 13-7. The Rams beat this team 14-10, and the only time they've really been embarrassed were the Dallas Cowboys, and maybe last week Minnesota embarrassed them a little bit, but they played pretty good defense.
They're playing very well this afternoon. They really are. And they're a little bit more aggressive than I thought they would be. They're getting more penetration. They're not playing nearly as much of a controlled defense as they are penetrating.
There's the Eagle offensive huddle. The crowd has been very quiet except for sporadic moments when number 12 is excited them. 3rd down and 24. Right in the middle of the field. Cunningham, Dancy looking deep. He's got Garrity, and it's intercepted at the 6-yard line by McNorton. Garrity looked open, but McNorton was sort of laying in the weeds waiting for that one.
Yeah, it's up there too long. There's no way in the world you're going to make an interception on the ball that's hanging up there that long. Tommy, as you know, watch, he sends a guy in motion. Gay, number 79, rushing. Green, number 62, going to the outside. Ferguson is controlling, watching him, make sure he doesn't step out of the pocket. But look how long that ball is up in the air, and it's finally intercepted there.
The second interception.
Bruce McNorton. Look at Kofor, number 55, and Ferguson again. They put him in the nutcracker again and give him a shot after he throws the ball. But again, Tommy, ball's up there too long.
Number 3 interception for McNorton. A good leaping catch. And he just almost talked the quarterback into throwing that.
Yeah, good timing on it.
1st and 10. The ball is on the 6. Ferguson running the draw. Seldom used James Jones gets out to the 14-yard line, let's say. Terry Hogue came up from the safety position. First game of the season, Jones had 174 yards rushing as the Lions beat Minnesota. Ferguson's just going to mix it up, it looks like, huh?
Well, I think I think you got to be careful that you don't outsmart yourself, because you got to do what you've been doing well, and you got to keep going after that big play if you can continue to play man-for-man coverage. They're changing a little bit, but you still have to go up on top. 2nd down and 2. Detroit on their own 14. Quick reverse handoff. The flags are down. Jones gets the 1st down to the 19-yard line. The flags were down early. Well, that's like running through a thrashing machine when you go through that with all those different alignments. You have to throw a little anchovy in there every once in a while, you know, to have them take the bait, but you still got to do the other thing mostly if you're going to win the game.
Illegal motion by the man who went in motion. Turn forward before the snap.
The man in motion going through the formation. Seven-point average for Detroit on 1st down. You can see the Eagles are having a pretty big problem on 1st down. 1 yard a shot.
Boy, when you wind up with second and 10 and 2nd and long, 3rd and long all the time, why...
It'll be a 2nd down and 7 when we come back from the 2-minute warning. Just before halftime, it's 7-7. A 72-yard TD pass. Chadwick catching the one from Ferguson for 7-3 lead, but it's not safe. He knows that. Buddy Ryan on this side His offense has been sort of catch as catch can. 1 field goal by McFadden and 1 field goal missed. 3 timeouts for Detroit, and they have the football. The Eagles have but a single timeout left. Ferguson is 3 of 12 for 103 yards and had a long one called back of about 80 yards.
See if they try to do something up on top here, or they're moving up. They're changing the alignment. Draw.
A quick draw as Jones tries to get away from the big rush, and there just was nowhere to go over there.
I think the other thing, when you play against the Eagles and their alignments like they are, I think sometimes you have to go in a quick count to avoid the possibility they're changing their coverage and stuff. Just go up there and get the ball and throw it. I think maybe you might catch them in the middle of a change.
How about if you pre-called about 3 or 4 plays? Could you get away with something like
Certainly,
that? Certainly,
yeah. I think anything to disrupt what they're trying to do. I think a no-huddle offense certainly would create a problem because they couldn't make the changes they're making.
3rd down and 8, and the Lions are 1 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. Cobb is up in the hole. So is Waters. Are they coming? They're coming. Ferguson rolls away from it, and it's a safety. Greg Brown gets 2 points for the Eagles. Ferguson saw the blitz coming up the middle and tried to get away from it. Brown was right there.
He saw it coming and tried to escape to the left. Number 98, Craig Brown. Watch him. Coming in the outside. There he is. Going on the outside of the block. Looks like Ken Reeves. And makes the sack in the end zone. 2 points for the Eagles.
Now keep in mind, you have to free kick from behind your 20-yard line. So Arnold, the punter, will kick it for Detroit. The Eagles only have 1 timeout, but they could get down and have a chance with a field goal to suddenly go in with a lead 8-7 at halftime. And that would drive the Detroit coaches wild.
That's the thing. You know, when you have an opportunity, you have good field position, you've got to get points. Take advantage of it, because right now, the way the game is played, you know, somebody says you're ahead 7-0. Well, you're just 1 play from being back in the game if you're the other team. And on that last safety, where they got themselves back in good position.
And Ryan's defense, especially when he was with Chicago, is if he's got you deep in your own territory on like 3rd down, he brings everybody. Arnold will kick now, a free kick. So should the Eagles get a decent return, they'll have 1 minute and 12 seconds to get in position for a McFadden field goal. And McFadden kicked 2 field goals a couple of years ago against Detroit of 51 and 52 yards. He can kick it. One timeout left for Philadelphia.
There's plenty of time with 1:12 left in the first half.
This is oh boy, this is a good kick. Here's the 5-second hang time on this. That's Cooper at the 20-yard line. Cooper finds a hole and gets to the 44-yard line and almost broke out of there. Seldom do you see a safety that doesn't result in 9 points instead of just the 2. A 24-yard return by a young man that played his college football at the University of Michigan. Cunningham, the quarterback, his 5th start. First this year, though. Jaworski got an injured little finger on his right hand against the Giants. Twaddle the tossing. A very fine little pass receiver is in there. And he gets the first one and drops the ball at the 47-yard line. Maxwell was breathing right down number 37's shoulder pads. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Brent's joined by Dan Deerdorf and Conrad Dobler. They're in New York, and they'll have all the scores and highlights from around the league. And Don Coryell, who packed it in after his great career, he tells Will McDonough what he's got lined out for the future, and that's all coming up at halftime. Dobler and Deerdorf. They're liable to double team that whole New York crew right off the set up there, you know.
And they'll be holding in the process.
Nobody did it better than Dobler. 2nd down and 10. Missing Haddix on the far side. There is a flag drop on the Detroit 37-yard line near the Eagles bench as Garrity was being held up by McNorton. away from the throw. This is those crazy interference or holding calls that you see.
Yeah, they have no bearing on the play whatsoever.
Let's see what McCarter thinks. Defensive pushing.
Illegal contact, number 29 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Bruce McNorton.
I don't think he chucked him in the 5-yard area. Let's see what happens at 29. Watch him. He's 10 yards down the field and then gives him a shot, and that's the penalty. That's why he's caught. Yeah, he's only got 5 yards to do that, and he did it after he went 10.
And Christensen and Jimmy David and all of us used to play. That was the best thing you could do, is knock him out of bounds. Cunningham back to throw, dancing in the pocket, and Mike Quick gets his first chance for a reception and doesn't get it.
I tell you, the nice thing about when you watch this team play defensively, talking about the Lions, they might give you something in front, but if you get it, you're going to have to bleed for what you got. So you better have a tourniquet in your pocket. Stop that bleeding.
The front seven, though, have been very aggressive for Detroit today.
They really have done a terrific job. I thought there'd be more space between the linebackers and the defensive backs than they've shown, but they haven't been able to get the ball in those seams, and they still haven't been able to get the ball to the tight end.
Second down and 10. A three-man rush with the linebackers sitting in. Cunningham going for Quick, who has this one. And Mike Quick, who can be about as dangerous as any receiver in the league, beats John Bostic for the first down.
We take a look at Quick in the slot here this time, and Bostic is covering month for one. Look at it, goes down close to him, breaks to the outside. The ball is right on the outside. He has to reach for the catch, makes it beautifully, catches it, and goes out of bounds and stops the clock.
He had a 75-yard touchdown reception from Cunningham against the Giants a week ago. He averages over 60 catches a year. He is one of the premier receivers in football. First catch today.
He's one of the few receivers who doesn't like to wear gloves either. He's not wearing them this afternoon.
First and 10. Outside. Quick, that's his second one. Guess what? We're getting within field goal range. And should Darrell Rogers go into the halftime trailing 8-7, there would be a lot of fuming going on. There's a flag down at the 38-yard line. Gordon McCarter now.
Looks like it'd be the Eagles.
Gay's going to help him make this decision. William pointed south.
Holding, number 79 offense, takedown, 10-yard penalty.
Joe Conwell,
First down.
the rookie right tackle, holding against Ferguson.
Watch Conwell on the left of your screen against Ferguson. I can understand why he's holding, because he's had a tough afternoon. He's on the right side. You don't see it yet. There you see him grabbing Ferguson very obviously. That's one way to keep him from getting to the quarterback, but he got caught in the process.
An Apache stranglehold.
Yeah.
Cunningham now dancing on a long play going. Number 80 had it in the end zone, Bobby Duckworth, and then it was knocked away. That ball was thrown 60 yards.
Here again, that ball was up there a long time. Duckworth gets behind the receiver, but by the time the ball comes down there, they're both there in pretty good shape. And they finally, that'd have been a sensational catch had he made that one.
Duckworth was waived by the Los Angeles Rams, former San Diego Charger, has tremendous deep speed. And he almost came up with that.
Yes, he did. And in conjunction with that same thought, he's got good moves, catches the ball very, very well. Good hands.
Second down and 20. The ball's on the 46. And there's no field goal range here. Not yet. 38 seconds left. And the Eagles with a single timeout.
They got to get the ball in between the hash marks some way to somebody. That's the open area. Let's see if they can get it there if they got the protection.
Cunningham gets it out to Kenny Jackson. Jackson wrapped up by Mad Max Maxwell.
That kind of a pass is like putting silk stockings on a pig. It doesn't do much good, does it?
Silk stockings on a pig? I got to remember that. 27 seconds left. Third down, and the Eagles have burned their last timeout. Of a young man that came out of Youngstown State, 12th round draft choice. And boy, when it goes bad, it's just like a golf pro. Sometimes the stroke and the tempo leave you. And even if it's a bad snap or a bad hold, it looks like the kicker misses them all, you know?
Yeah, and of course the worst thing about it too is I think once you get in the streak, especially a young kicker like Paul, why I think he imagines a lot of things are really non-existent. All you have to do is keep that head still and kick it.
Cunningham, one more shot to get McFadden on the field just before halftime. 7-5 lead. The Eagles are out of timeouts.
They got to get
This
the ball
is
down the middle
CBS.
someplace, and then they got to hustle like crazy to get a chance for the field goal.
Three-man rush, and it still puts
Ladies and
pressure
gentlemen,
on
due to
Buck
technical
Buck
difficulties, our program has been
good
temporarily
tackle by
interrupted.
Maxwell.
Please stand
Maxwell
by.
waited for the
We will
numbers to stop
resume
moving
just
and
as soon
really
as
took the
possible.
quarterback apart.
Maxwell again, we talked about that earlier. He's going to shadow him any place he goes. He was the cop on the play, and he had no chance whatsoever to escape that particular play because Maxwell was right there to make the tackle.
The 8th sack by Detroit as William Gay comes through, and the Eagle offense is in disarray, disorganized, and demoralized. It's 7-5, Detroit over Philadelphia, and we've got 30 minutes left.